I mean, we're in the world's sixth mass extinction right now. Species are going extinct daily. People are already beginning to starve and lack water in Africa because of climate change. And that's a far greater price than anything that I've paid. I started getting involved in '96 when I was in high school, just kind of starting to pay attention to political events. I was heavily engaged in anti-police brutality and anti-fascist work. I do come from a middle-class, working-class background. I dropped out of college to pursue my activism, and I decided to move up here to Eugene, where I had friends, and live in the Pacific Northwest and see what direction my life was going to take me. And that basically led to me living in the forest, living in an old-growth Doug fir, defending it from logging. And after a while, you know, you see that voting hasn't worked, public debate hasn't worked. When you're already putting your body on the line to defend the last of an old-growth ecosystem, and you're getting literally beaten with batons by cops, you draw a line and you say, okay, this way of resisting, it's not working. So I'm going to try something new. And so that's what I decided that I was going to do. I looked at the threat that climate change and global warming posed. I looked at U.S. imperialist policy over foreign oil, how we support dictatorships in which people are tortured, and yet we promote democracy at home. And I said, I'm not going to participate in this system, and I want to raise awareness about what's happening in our world and what our country and what our government is directly responsible for. And I learned that, you know, you can be as articulate and well-spoken as you want. If you are countering what the status quo is, the media is not going to give you any attention. The government's not going to pay attention, and the general public probably won't hear what you have to say. But if you can do something spectacular, if you can make a big bang loud enough to silence the room, everyone will listen to you talk for a while. And so me and my friend Craig decided that we were going to set a symbolic fire at a car dealership in order to raise awareness about these issues. And so that's what we did. Actions like that were being carried out by the Earth Liberation Front or other groups or individuals with similar politics were causing $40 million worth of damage thus far, completely unhindered. And so when they caught us, they needed to set an example. When you have a general public that is suddenly thinking, wow, something has to change, look at what our government's doing, looking at what these corporations are doing, the government goes into high gear. They have to produce propaganda to silence dissent. I was originally sentenced to 22 years, and fortunately, my sentence was ultimately ruled illegal, and I only served 10.
22 years.
22 years. I think anything that resists corporate dominance, anything that challenges capitalism, anything that says there's oppression, is now classified as terrorism. And the fact that the U.S. is going to crack down on activism and has decided to punish activism in this country as terrorism, sadly, I think it's just a matter of time before we start seeing that in other nations. We are ruled by the wealthy here, and the wealthy have a vested interest in staying wealthy. And the way that they do that is by ensuring that corporations can do whatever they want. And disproportionately, poor people are going to be affected because of what rich, wealthy nations do. And within those own countries, you know, here in the United States and in France, Germany, and Europe, when we start running out of precious resources, when fresh water starts to become hard to get, when we see famine because crops are being affected by climate change, it's not going to be the wealthy that go without food and water. It's going to be the poor people in those countries, because anytime there is catastrophe, it's poor people who suffer. So I think that the first thing that we need to fundamentally change is our relationship with the economy. We need to start living a life that is not based on a monetary system, but that is based on a living system, one that respects the individual, respects the community, and respects where our resources come from. We have the right to clean air, clean water, and good food. Those are our inherent human rights, and our inherent human rights are being denied us because of dollar bills, because somewhere along the lines, some twisted humans got the idea that profits come before people, profits come before the health of the environment, profits come before everything. And I will resist that to the day I die in any fashion that I think will create change, by any means. I think that there will continue to be a new generation until we either burn this world to the ground with our industry or until we change it. Generation after generation, people are seeing what's happening to our planet, seeing what's happening to our lives and our people, and they're dissatisfied and they're unhappy, and rightfully so. And until we see meaningful change that respects not only the human spirit, but life on this planet, you're going to continue to see resistance.